I'm curious to hear maybe some of your opinions on the US and Mexico and maybe cultural influences. And it seems like things in Mexico have been getting better over time. Do you have the same feeling?
Yes, of course. Everything
Okay.
is going better now. The city is growing a lot.
Yeah. So about 350,000 people live here in Tapachula.
Yes, that's the population of Tapachula.
When you were younger, was it quite a bit smaller?
Yes, the
Okay.
economy, it was not this big.
Okay, okay. Yeah. And so there also probably weren't as many migrants.
Oh, no
Many years
migrants at
ago.
all. No
Okay.
migrants at all. You couldn't see any migrant here. Only
Well,
people
so-
from Guatemala or maybe Honduras, and that was all.
So why do you think there's been such a large spike in migration here?
Because I think they saw an opportunity to go to the United States,
Okay.
and they took that opportunity.
So is it an opportunity now that didn't exist in the past?
I think there are less opportunities right now
Okay.
than there used to be years ago,
Okay.
but there are still opportunities to go to the United States or what they want.
So do you think though that people think that maybe the US is easy to enter or easier to enter than it was in the past?
I think it's more difficult now to enter to the U.S.
Well, yeah, maybe right now.
Right
but
now it's more difficult.
maybe a year
But
ago or 2 years ago?
It was more easy for
I
them
see.
to get through.
Okay. And so we were talking before, and you were telling me that generally, and maybe let's take a right here, that people have this idea that the U.S. has an open border, that it's easy to get into the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, can you talk a little bit more about that? Because that's an interesting perspective, if that's true, that people have this idea, or maybe until recently, they had this idea that the US was very easy to enter and stay.
Yes, they have the idea that if they cross to the United States, they are going to get support from the government. They
Okay.
are going to get money.
I see,
They are not going to work
I see,
because it's free money for them.
I see.
That's the idea they have.
Okay,
And it is maybe for them not too difficult to cross. They think it's easy to cross.
and so, until recently, it has been pretty easy. In 2024, the numbers have dropped by quite a bit as Mexico has started forcing people to stay away from the border.
That's
Right.
it. Yeah.
Okay. But in the past, Mexico wasn't really doing anything to stop the migrants. And so, hundreds of thousands of migrants every month, especially in 2023, were coming to the US and starting to overwhelm the border patrol there. Now, it's interesting that you say that people think that the government will look after them. Why did they think that?
Because that's the stories that they hear in their own countries.
Okay. So people who maybe have come from El Salvador or Venezuela, and they tell stories about what it's like to live in the United States.
Exactly, and sometimes they exaggerate.
Okay. And they're using social media to
Of
tell
course,
these stories?
TikTok, they do TikTok videos
Okay.
to
Okay.
tell them that the migrants that it is going to be great in the United States
I see.
if they make it.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So there's a movement in social media on TikTok that is showing a view of the United States that it is a place where you can come, you can make money, you can get government services, and that you can live a decent life.
Of course, that's what they want.
Okay, okay. In large part because they see their life back where they're from and they say, okay, this definitely could be better if I was to cross, make this journey up through Central America, through Mexico, and up to the United States. Do you think that narrative, that story, is still very common in Central and South America?
That is the story in general.
Okay.
That's the story for them, that they're going to have a great life in the United States.
I see.
They will get free money without having to work.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's interesting that you say without having to work.
Yeah, because some TikTokers, some migrant TikTokers, they say they have money only because they have kids.
I see. Can you tell me more about that? That's curious.
If you have a little child, the government will give you money to support the child.
Okay. And so they're saying, come to the U.S., have children.
Have children, yeah.
And
the more you have, the better.
Get support because of the kids.
Yes, of course.
Interesting. That's really wild.
It is.
Huh. Okay. Now, do you think that these people are planning on staying in the United States for a long period of time, maybe their whole lives? Or
Of course, they want to stay in the United States their whole life.
Okay.
So right now, Mexico is inviting them to stay here.
Yeah, okay, right, because Mexico has started to see that there's some economic benefits from the migrants coming through. They'll come, they'll do some work, and ultimately there's some benefits to Mexico economically because of this. And so Mexico under AMLO has become more, open to migrants staying in Mexico instead
Yes.
of just trying to push them north and get them out of the country?
Yes, that's the invitation. Stay in Mexico, you will have permission to work if you stay here,
Yes.
and maybe get the nationality in a few years.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So, do you think it's possible that now that it's a little bit harder to get through the U.S. border, that some of the migrants, or maybe many of the migrants, are deciding to maybe stay in Mexico now?
Yes, of course.
Instead of continuing north to the United States?
Yeah, some of them are not even thinking in going to the United States.
Okay.
They are thinking of staying in Mexico.
I see. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, do you think that Mexico, there's a walkway down here, let's go to that. Do you think that in Mexico, it might wind up filling up too much with too many migrants, like some people are saying is happening in the United States, and that eventually Mexico...
It used to be like that because people didn't work, they didn't have a job,
Yes.
they were sleeping on the streets.
Okay.
But right now, the government is giving opportunities to them, so it is not longer like that.
Okay.
People are having jobs.
Okay.
These migrants are having new jobs,
Yes.
and they are contributing to the economy of the country.
So, okay. So an interesting statistic that I saw about the United States is that under Biden, for the last almost 4 years, there have not been any new jobs created for Americans, and that the number of jobs that has been created, the total number under Biden, is all migrants. It's several million new jobs that have been created in the US, but it's all jobs for migrants, and none of the jobs, or there's not a big number of new jobs for Americans. I wonder if Mexico might start to see something like that.
Well, it must be the case, but already I think everybody gets a job. If you look for a job in Mexico, you get it.
I see. So unemployment here is very low.
Economy is growing, so
Yes.
we need more people.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, you walk down a place like this and it's just nothing but people and stores and economic activity.
Yes, of course. Full of people. You can see a lot of people.
Right.
From all the world.
Yes. Everybody's using their 2 or 3 words of English.
Yes.
That's funny. Well, maybe we can find some place with air conditioning and continue our conversation because it is getting hot in here.
I told you before.
So this is an oasis for them because it's in the shade, and there's not really other places, other parks that they can go to in town where they can get this kind of shade, this kind of comfort, maybe beg for money from people.
And police don't mess with them.
Oh, the police?
They leave it alone.
But if they go to other parks, maybe the police will hassle
Not
them.
exactly, but here they are safe. They feel safe because there are many, and they support each other.
Okay, I see. They kind of work together in these groups.
Sometimes, yeah, they do. They need to do that
Yeah.
to survive. You know.
Right. Okay.
It is necessary for them.
So it might take them a little bit of time once they arrive in Tapachula to enter the economy if they're going to stay. Maybe they buy some goods to be able to try to sell them on the street. Maybe some food or some clothing,
Yeah, they
and
do
they
that.
sell.
You can see if we continue walking, we will see they are selling things.
Okay.
They buy things and they sell.
Yes.
Sometimes
okay.
they get a job if they
I
are
see.
lucky enough.
I see. Okay. But a lot of
But
the
most
people.
of the time they
like-
ask for money.
Okay, so I can see here there's people with lots of luggage. So these are probably people who've just arrived, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. They've kind of come into town. They're here. They're trying to figure out what their next moves are. Maybe they're talking to other people. Let's say they're Venezuelan. They're finding other Venezuelans. They're saying, okay, what do we need to do next? You know, how much does a bus ticket cost if we want to move up towards Oaxaca? Or what does it look like to find the train? Or these types of things.
Remember what the woman said. I am looking for intelligent ways to get to the United States
Yes.
because
okay.
right now I haven't been successful.
Yes, I see. Okay. So let me ask you this. With what's happening with Maduro right now, he lost the election, but he won't give up power. Do you think that will cause lots of more Venezuelans to come through Central America, through Tapachula, to the United States?
Well, first of all, AMLO, the Mexican president,
Yes.
said Maduro didn't lose.
Ah, okay.
They are
This is just
supporting
what the
Maduro.
United States is saying.
Mexico is supporting Maduro.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
First of all. Then, of course, Venezuelans are always trying to come to Mexico, but
Yes.
to go to the United States.
Right.
That's their final goal.
Okay. So, do you think that there's likely to be a lot more Venezuelans now because of what Maduro did? Because the opposition?
I think the amount of Venezuelans is not increasing, it's the same.
Yes.
Already
Okay.
it's the same.
Okay, so you think there will still be some Venezuelans, but not necessarily
More.
lots more?
Lots
I
more,
see.
not
Okay.
really.
I see. So most of the people I see here look younger. These are younger people. There's a fair amount of children, but I don't see a lot of older people. And that's mostly what you see with the migrants. They tend to be younger.
Well, what I have heard is that they send money to their parents. So parents stay at home.
Okay, I see. So when they come to the U.S. or they come to Mexico, they make money, then they
The
send
young
it
ones,
back.
they send the young ones to work, and they will have to give money to their parents.
I see. Okay. And that helps support them in their
Exactly.
towns. Interesting. Okay. Let's go find some air conditioning.
Oh my.
It's hot. It's not so bad here in the shade, but once we get out in the sun.
But people take advantage of the migrant, and they give them jobs, paying very small amount of money.
Right.
They take advantage of that.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So if American people didn't take advantage of migrants, They wouldn't even go to the United States to make money.
So you're saying that if there's no jobs for the migrants to have,
I mean, you want somebody to paint your house,
right?
and he's going to charge you $20 the hour or maybe more. But you take the migrant, you're going to give him $5, maybe $10 the whole day.
I see.
You see?
Yes.
What is better for you?
Well, clearly you want to pay less, and so that makes
It
a
is an air
market.
conditioner.
People generally seem happy.
They are always happy, you know. Even with the life they have,
Yeah.
they are always smiling. They will give you always a smile.
Right. Huh.
That's
Interesting.
the mindset of the Latino.
I see. Okay.
Be happy, whatever is going on, be
I
happy.
see. I see. Interesting. So many of these businesses don't have air conditioning.
No.
Is this the hottest part of the year?
No, not
No?
at all.
Okay, this is cool part of the year.
Yeah, it is actually.
Is this rainy season?
Of course.
Ah, okay, yeah. Because almost every day you get thunderstorms. So that makes sense.
It's not raining too much like other years,
Okay,
but it's raining season.
yes, okay, I see. Yeah, it makes me feel similar to when I grew up in the Philippines with kind of a subtropical atmosphere. Humid, hot, but not as hot as the desert.
Because the lack of humidity.
Yes. Yes. So in southern Mexico, would you say that there's not a lot of crime? That things are mostly peaceful? Or
Yes, I think it's the safest place of the country.
okay.
South.
Okay. But we see a lot of guards and security.
Everywhere. You will see that everywhere.
Yes.
In the whole country.
Okay. But does that mean that if those people weren't there, that there would be more robbery?
Not necessarily, but yeah, they are doing a good job. They
Yeah.
are keeping people safe.
I see. It's this way?
But sometimes you don't see police or Guardia Nacional anywhere,
Uh-huh.
and things are calm.
Do you think that the Guardia Nacional is less corrupt than the federal police or the judicial police that came before?
To me, yes, they are.
Okay. Okay, so generally here in Chiapas, they're trustworthy, they're not very corrupt, they do a good job.
They are trying to save us.
Okay.
They are trying to, to have a peaceful city.
I see. I see. Okay.
They
So-
help people a lot.
Yeah, so what I don't see here, I see a lot of state police and municipal police, but I don't see a lot of Guardia Nacional and I don't see a lot of army or ejército.
Yes, they are, but on the roads that go to
okay.
Guatemala or to Mexico City.
Okay, so just not here in Tapachula.
Not here in Central Park. You
I
will
see.
see only police because it's their area.
Yes.
At Guardia Nacional, they take care of roads.
Yeah, okay. So I've got a question
Okay.
about dating.
Dating.
Dating in Chiapas. In the United States, it's more and more common for boys and girls to be single. It's almost expected. Most men don't date women anymore, most young men. I think the latest I've heard is that 63% of men between 18 and 30 years old have not dated in the last year
In the United States.
in the United States. How do you think it is here in Mexico?
Well, no, it's not that difficult.
Okay,
You can always get a couple.
okay. So it's not hard for girls and guys to find each other
No, it's
for relationships.
It is easy actually.
Okay. Maybe the birth rate will stay higher than in the United States.
I think so, yeah, for sure. Women are always looking for a mate,
Well,
for
okay.
a partner
That's
to live their lives.
very different than in the United States then. I think women and men almost find reasons to not date anymore.
Oh, here they do.
They've both
They are
become
always
too
finding
picky.
reasons to date.
Okay, well that's
It's the opposite.
that's traditional then. That's healthy.
Yeah, because they don't want to be alone. You grow up always with your family, you live in your family
Okay.
circle,
Yes.
and
I
that
see.
gives you comfort
Yeah.
and peace.
I see. So Mexico retains its family culture.
Of course.
In
so
a way-
when you leave your house,
Yes.
you need a partner,
Yeah.
to fulfill your dreams of having a family.
Okay. And if someone waits too long to get married, what happens with the family?
With the family?
Yeah, what does the family do if the guy is maybe 32? He's
They
still
are
playing?
pressing. They are pressing. You need to get married. You need to get married.
Okay.
They are always pushing them to get married.
Right. Okay. So how old are most men and most women when they get married?
Any age, I have seen 18 years old kids
Okay.
already married.
Yep. But normally, about
Normally
when?
should be from 22
Yes.
to 30.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's not that much different than the U.S.
No?
then. I think the U.S. average age of marriage is around 29 to 31. So
The situation
older.
here is when you finish university,
Uh-huh.
then you can get married.
I see. Okay. Okay. Well, there it is.